Hey guys, it's Andre from the High Performance Academy. We're here with Lawson from AEM, and I wanted to talk to Lawson about one of AEM's more unusual products in my opinion, because it's not specifically about engine management. It's their water methanol injection kit. So Lawson, obviously water methanol injection is not a new technology. It's a great way of protecting your engine. What made AEM come up with their own system to do this?
We wanted to introduce a system that was both comprehensive and affordable, and what we have now is really a culmination of that. It's everything you need to do water methanol injection right at a really competitive price point.
Yeah, with the water methanol injection, for those of us out there who don't actually understand the technology, could you basically tell us how water methanol injection protects your engine or offers improved performance out of it?
The old saying is it's like running race gas on pump gas. So it reduces inlet air temperatures, which of course is going to enhance combustion efficiency and reduce EGTs and reduce or will knock on a gas engine, and is going to help allow you to really turn up the boost without having to increase your, increase the octane. content.
Yeah, so effectively it's like running race gas when you're running normal petrol. The water methanol reduces the combustion temperature and it reduces that knock sensitivity, lets you run more boost pressure, or you could also run more compression on a naturally aspirated engine.
Absolutely, that's part of the new redesigned controller that we have. Is now you can run, whereas before we had an onboard boost sensor and it was limited to boosted applications, we now have what we call a multi-input controller. So it'll work on ultra high boost applications and high compression naturally aspirated engines.
Perfect. Okay, so the systems I've been involved with in the past have sort of been cobbled together, or maybe backyard systems that are pretty basic, and the AEM system is quite comprehensive. Could you tell me a little bit about the safety mechanisms you've got in there? Because in a nutshell, if you run out of water methanol, you're relying on that water methanol, that could cost you an engine. So you've got some comprehensive systems in there to safeguard that. How do they work?
Well, we have a couple different ones. Included in every water methanol system in our controller is what we call Failsafe, which is an output that if you run out of fluid for any reason, you can ground the output. At minimum, it'll indicate it via like a warning light or an LED. In more sophisticated ways, you can set it up to an ignition box or a boost control solenoid, full boost, cut timing, things like that. And then we have a much more active system. It's our Water Methanol Failsafe device, which is a gauge and a controller. It's software programmable, super simple. It sets your high and low conditions, so you basically establish your flow curve. Anything outside of that defined flow curve, and it's going to again actively trigger anything from as simple as a warning light to something as sophisticated as switching to a safety map on a standalone engine control unit.
It sounds like you've really got that all covered. So if those are set up and functioning correctly, basically there's no way you can go wrong?
No, you can't blow it up. We got a great video on our website of a 400 horsepower Evo, and we literally create a high flow condition. We basically try to blow up the motor, and with the fail-safe on it, it doesn't happen.
I know it's going to be different for every engine, but could you give us some suggestion of, say, a turbocharged Evo, for instance? If the car's been tuned on petrol and then you went and put a water methanol injection kit, could you give us some indication of how much power we might be expecting to pick up?
Conservatively, you can see gains of 15-20%. Well, I guess that might be a little. Conservatively, you can see gains of 5 to 10%. Let's go with that. So, conservatively, you can see gains of about 5 to 10%. We've seen gains obviously with a tuned engine, running water methanol. Oh gosh, I think dynos, around 30 horsepower gains. It's quite impressive. Again, with no change in octane content of the fuel, just with water methanol. We have some examples of that on our website too.
That's a really big gain for quite a simple modification. One more thing I wanted to ask you about is the water methanol injection itself. So you can choose to inject water or methanol or a combination of each. Could you talk about that? What do you recommend and what's the difference?
Our recommendation is no more than a 50-50 mixture because of the flammability content. And really, in our own research, we found that it's even running a higher content of methanol is you're not really going to see a whole lot more benefit of that. So from a safety standpoint, and then mixing that with M100, or M1 methanol is really going to be the best bet. Not only from there's guys that'll run the windshield washer fluid, and I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but you don't know what's coming in with what else you're getting with that. Whereas if you're running a pure fuel and mixing it cleanly, I think you're going to have a more consistent result every time.
Okay, look, it's a cool system. I like the way it's very complete as well. It gives you all of the parts you need to do the installation, and you've got that safety mechanism which is so important with water methanol injection. Look, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today, and we'll see you later on.
Always a pleasure.
For online tuning courses, visit learntotune.com.